Finally, the Hitman has come back to Four Corners on IG Live.
Good.
What we got going on, man?
Yo, you gotta have your coach join. I fuck with your coach. Even though your coach don't fuck with Charlo, I fuck with your coach.
Hey, Coach Sean, you want to get on? I can let him get on.
Which coach?
Norfolk Hit Squad. If he,
Has he been on me before or no?
Nah, he hasn't been on. He's always watching. He's always in the comments, but he never.
I always see him in the comments.
All right.
This little candy ass is still going. Fuck him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jack's little bitch ass.
When you get your picks, so which one you want to start with? Loma Nakatani, Tank, Barrios, Lubin, Rosario?
I think we should start Tank, then go Loma, then go Lubin.
Okay. So
and then we could talk about Teofimo Lopez being on another stacked like that whole weekend is stacked now.
Yeah, it is.
It's gonna move. They're talking about moving it to the Oscar De La Hoya card.
I seen that.
And
we'll get to that.
Then
but I seen that.
Colbert got King Tug now. He's gonna fight.
And then the Virgil Ortiz fight too.
Yeah, that Virgil Ortiz fight is underrated. I think that's
ready
to be a war.
So yeah, what you think with the Tank fight? You on last week?
I think Tank's gonna win. I think that Barrios should have an L on his record. I think that he got a gift versus Akhmedov when he fought him. I had him up 7-5 in that fight, Akhmedov. So if Barrios, in my opinion, I think he's a big dude, a long dude, but
seen the face off today, right?
I think Barrios is pretty basic. I just wonder if because Tank's power didn't carry the 135. If the power carried, but not the one punch power that like he has at 130. Okay. So he still has respectable power where he could put a guy on the floor. But Gamboa was like tailor made for him, like to showcase against him. He didn't get him out of there like he was supposed to get him out of there. So if he blasts out Barrios, I'm kind of curious, like, what's the difference?
Y'all hear me?
Is there Vada?
What's up, Briz?
All right, I wanted to know if y'all can hear me. What's up?
Yo, Briz.
Yo, what's up, Jimmy?
You know if there's Vada for this Davis fight?
If it's what?
Vada.
What you mean?
Drug testing.
It's always drug testing.
No, not always. Vada's not always in it.
Hold up. Since I ain't been in here in a couple days, right?
This is something I came up with recently. I'm just curious.
All right, but listen. Since I ain't been in here a couple of days, I want to address Sibbie real quick.
Me?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You ain't read my comments the other day when Dorsett and Jimmy was going at it.
You see, I changed the subject, right?
Yeah, I try to tell you, man. Don't let that mess house show up, man. You know what I mean? Jimmy was getting.
I let it happen. Which you did last week. I decided to change the subject, cut in between it.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I said I don't mind nobody going back and forth. It just when it gets to a certain point, I change subject like I did last week. I mean, you are right. I
mean, he was disrespectful though coming in, so that's why I had a problem. And then he wouldn't explain why he was disrespectful. So for me, that means that either you're just saying it to say it to make me look stupid, or try to make me look stupid, or you just have a personal problem with me for whatever reason.
See, my thing with that is, and I'm make this short and brief. My thing with that is although we got this show, I like y'all and we all friends that probably never met. But if we could come together
the other day, he came by my house.
If we could come to do this, if we could come together to do this, there's no telling what else we could do if we put our heads together. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
And I had to tell Staff that because Mustafa was like, "Oh, Briz don't like me." I was like, no, man, don't never say that, bro. It ain't, you know what I mean? Don't never say I don't like you. We got a difference of opinion for certain things, but it ain't that I don't like you. I love everybody, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want that to be how we come on the show, like, oh, well, Briz don't like me, so he gonna disagree. No, man, it ain't that, bro. I like you. I like all y'all, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
I feel
I'm glad we could come together to do this. But I'm going down Miami to the Telefino Lopez fight.
when August 14th.
Yeah,
September 15th.
Shit,
tickets only $75.
that shit
So
might change again.
huh?
That shit might get changed again. We ain't talk about it yet, but yeah, you might want to hold on that. Unless
Well,
you,
I
Yeah,
mean,
I heard it's gonna go to the Oscar De La Hoya card. That's what I heard.
yeah,
oh,
because you remember T.O. was supposed to fight June 5th, and then the Floyd Logan Paul fight took over that, so they changed it. He was
right.
supposed to fight Juneteenth, but he caught COVID, they say. But I believe it's because he was going against Charlo, Noye, and Munguia. So that
And
got
he's not fighting a guy that brings anything to the table as far as fans.
exact. And now it's on August 14th, but you got Donaire fighting that day. Then you got who's you just Virgil Ortiz fighting that day. So I mean,
Well, I mean, well, but that's how boxing go because the zone, PBC, top rank for the last 5 fights, they've been all putting fights on at the same time.
yeah, the only problem with that is it's not a problem fighting the same day. It's just that they trying to make it pay per view. So
Yeah,
want to
and
be
it's a Triller card also. So
exact.
and Triller's not fucking around. You know, Triller's trying to. I think that the smartest thing would be to put De La Hoya because that will bring a lot of casual fans, and it will blow. It will. I think that's just like they should have done that from the get go. To be honest with you,
Oh well, I'm still going
Triller.
down there.
They should do what UFC does. Like UFC, you ever notice how they just stack every single card?
Yeah,
Yes.
my man.
I think if boxing had one promotion, they'd be able to do that. But since it's so many promoters, it's not realistic. But when you have a thing like Triller showcasing like legend fights and shit like that, and like
Yeah, it's gonna take
YouTube
over.
fights, you could stack it with like a good one or two like really good boxing fights, and then shit for casuals that's like hype.
What's the
Well,
last card?
well, we seen him just do it with the we seen him just do it with the what's the name fight.
With the Mayweather and
Yeah,
they did it with
whether Logan Paul.
Julio Cesar Chavez and Junior and Silva. Oh my God, that was
Hey,
terrible.
hey, yo, I never even seen that fight. How did that fight go? I seen
Silva, he was
Chavez let
Anderson
Canelo.
Silva whipped that candy ass.
he did, bro. Bro, and we called it on the show. We said if there was any boxer that was gonna lose, yo, and during Julio Cesar Chavez Senior's fight with Hector Camacho Jr., he tried to take
That's the
over his
one.
headgear. He was like, "Fuck this shit," and they wouldn't let him. And then like he's on the ropes like after the fight, like hugging Canelo and stuff, and Canelo's like, "You'll always be the best." It looks like a father-son moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I
No, but I'm
wish you was
saying
my son.
what I'm saying is how did
He looked
Chavez
terrible.
Senior
Oh,
how did
Senior looked
how,
great.
how did he look?
He looked good.
I ain't
He
even
was
watch.
he was going hard like the whole fight. He was going hard. His cardio was good, and he was just like it looked like throwback Julio Cesar. You know, like
He look better than his damn son.
yeah, that's for
Everybody's
sure.
better than that little candy ass jabroni.
Nah, but he was
Yeah,
throwing like bombs. You know,
right.
yeah, it looked
I
good.
ain't I ain't get to look at
You want to break down this Tank fight before we get a way or two off? You know.
uh I don't know, man. I think Barrios, I think, you know what I mean? I think he's gonna come to fight.
Well, of course he's gonna come to fight, but I'm like I don't think he's I don't rate him that highly. After I saw the Akhmedov fight, I thought he got a gift in that fight.
Yeah.
I thought Akhmedov beat him. I mean, clearly, actually, I don't know how that was a unanimous decision. I never watched the fight live, but I saw the replay after someone said something about it. So I went back and I watched it, and it was yeah, they weren't lying. I mean, Barrios just wasn't impressive. So I think the only thing that Barrios has going for him is that he's just bigger than Tank, but Tank's one-punch power didn't carry to 135. Like, he had power, but it wasn't one-punch power where, like, a guy like Gamboa, he should have had out of there. Like, I said 4 rounds originally. That's what when I wrote the article. I said 4 rounds. I thought he would just run him over, but he didn't. And when it took, and honestly, I think the ref waved it. Gamboa was getting up, so. And Gamboa is a chinny guy, and he's washed. So I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. Like, so I can't see if Tank's one-punch power comes back all of a sudden. That's why I asked about Vada. I'm like, what are we going to say about that if his one-punch power magically appears in this fight? Is it that Barrios is such shit, or is it that something else?
Well, if he do carry the power up there,
How
he
can
should
he
stay
carry
there.
it up? He didn't carry it to 135, so how is he going to magically carry it up to 140?
I'm saying if he do take it to 140, if it's mysteriously get to 140, he should stay there.
I don't think he's gonna. I don't know. I don't think he stays at 140. It's too well, unless I think Prograis is the fight to make at 140 for him. But I feel like because Taylor, I think, is gonna leave, and then I looked at the WBA rankings, and it's pretty fairly easy. So I think that's why he's going for this title, because then if Taylor vacates, Tank automatically fights for the official WBA title.
Hey, Hitman, you quiet down there. What you think?
You ask the Hitman what he thinks about the fight. You ask the Hitman to break the fight down. So the Hitman will indeed break the fight down for you. And the Hitman says this: Mario Barrios, 6 feet, 140 pounds, WBA regular champion. Gervonta Tank Davis, 5 foot, 2 inches tall, best weight, 130 pounds. Former 2-time WBA champion, former IBF champion. So you want to ask the Hitman what he thinks about the fight. Well, the Hitman says this: the first 3 to 4 rounds, Tank will look fairly uncomfortable due to the size difference. But the Hitman says this: once he figures out that Rudy Poo regular pattern that big jabroni Mario Barrios has, Tank will start to pick his shots, will start to attack the body. But the Hitman says this: for as little as he thinks of Mario Barrios, he expects him to win a few rounds. But in the end result, the Hitman sees a 10th round TKO for Gervonta Tank Davis. 4th title in a 4th division.
Yeah, I was watching.
You're breaking up.
I'm not talking.
Oh,
Yeah,
what is it?
I hear it too.
That's Briz.
That was a helicopter. That's me.
But yeah, I was watching some Barrios clips. I didn't feel like watching the whole fight. Yeah, he looked like he just straight up and down for Tank. Other than he looks like he liked to fight behind his 1-2, but I really didn't see nothing. I didn't see anything that makes me think he troubles Tank, other than the early rounds when Tank got to get adjusted to that size.
Well, why do y'all think Tank took the fight? Why do y'all think?
Because he didn't want to fight nobody at 135. To be honest with you, he didn't want to fight no big names at 135.
Well,
at 130.
I mean,
I don't think
y'all
he can make 130 comfortably anyway.
You got
And
to
I
remember
think
this.
that people were saying
You
that
got
he was
to
only fighting
remember
smaller
also.
guys, so easy is
You
to
gotta-
fight at 140. That's still a name.
You got to
Now,
remember this.
Barrios is being built as a prospect, a top prospect. I just think that, that's why he took it.
Yeah, well, you got to look at it.
It's a cherry pick.
He's imaging Floyd's pattern. You know,
What?
he fight big name fighters that he know he can beat.
Yeah.
He's not gonna we all know that Tank gonna get the KO or Tank gonna get the win. It ain't no question. It ain't no question in none of our minds. It's just how he get it. How he get it is what we're more concerned about.
If he gets a knockout, it will be late.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We more so we more so talking about how he gonna get the knockout as opposed to if he's gonna win or not. We know it ain't no way in hell he's losing that fight. Not on a piece of promotions. He's never gonna lose that fight.
What happens?
What happens
if he looks bad?
Huh?
What happens if he looks bad? Then where does he go next from that?
Well, I mean, he can't.
If he looks bad, he needs to take his little 5'2" tattooed candy ass back to 130.
That's a lot of going up and down, though.
Only thing he could lose, Jimmy. Only thing he could lose is, all right, I ain't ready for 140.
No,
I
I
look
know,
bad.
but I think the big dogs at 135 give him a problem. I think people
Who?
like maybe Shakur Stevenson and fucking Colbert give him a problem.
Well, he not gonna. He ain't gonna fight Shakur Stevenson.
Colbert's the WB interim at 130. He can't go back to
But
130.
I
he's
about to
not
say
gonna fight.
going
He's
back
not
to the
gonna
one.
fight Shakur
If he
Stevenson.
goes back to
We
130,
not
he has
gonna.
to fight Colbert.
But I'm
You
saying we're not gonna act like the reason Shakur Stevenson ain't gonna fight Tank is the same reason Earl Spence won't fight Terrence
No,
Crawford.
I
It's a
know, I
top
know. That's no, I know
ranked
that. But I'm
PBC.
talking Colbert's the PBC. Colbert's the WBA
Right, right,
interim
right,
champion, and he's been the
right.
interim champion since LSU was the champion. So I don't know. I feel like they're trying to build up Colbert's name so that if he does fight Tank act, the risk is worth whatever, you know. Like at least he'll get paid for it. But
I don't think usually when any fighter I can think of one of two weight classes, they don't go back down to their normal. They usually if they drop down, they drop down one. So after
One.
this, after
but
this,
what
Yeah.
easy? Who are the easiest fights at 130? Because I feel like there's a running fights regular champions.
at
And
what
then
weight?
fights for vacants.
What weight
What
did you
weight?
say? 35 or 30?
No, I'm talking at 135. Who's he gonna fight? Like, let's say he went down to 135, or even let's say 140. I mean, I don't think they let him fight Prograis.
Let's be honest. The only big fight Tank is going to fight is more than likely Ryan Garcia. So the Hitman says this. That's why I said, that's why the Hitman has said this fight with, what's this dude's name? Marcus, what's this dude's name? It doesn't matter what his name is. That's why this fight with this Mario Barrios character.
You petty for setting it up like that too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I set that up now. You like the way I set that up.
Yeah, you really did.
He was reaching for that one.
He
He
was.
thought he
Though.
didn't know his name.
He reached for that one, Jimmy.
But
I didn't
all
say
right,
that.
Briz. All right, we get it, Briz. We get it. You gonna toss me some money?
No, I just got off of work, man. I'm just, I work in a
payday
barber.
today?
I work in a barbershop.
Okay, I got paid
Oh,
today.
yeah?
I own a barbershop, so.
So it's payday.
That's what's up. You like
No,
my boy Damien who cuts my hair.
Payday every day.
We got a barbershop in my garage.
Like the Hitman was saying, he thinks this fight against Mario Barrios is nothing more than a little tune-up for a fight against Ryan Garcia. That's the way the Hitman sees it. Hitman doesn't see this fight as anything else other than a little tune-up for Ryan Garcia.
Hey, Hitman, you newsy too, man. You wasn't supposed to see that.
You got it out in front of the damn camera.
I tried to put the camera to the side. I didn't.
It didn't work.
I see.
I don't work in no damn strip club. You crazy?
She's talking about Briz.
Got a cash business, man.
She said he work at a strip club. No, I ain't never that.
So what y'all think of the Loma Nakatani fight?
You know what? I looked at the odds I thought it was a closer fight until I looked at the odds. The odds, they have Loma over minus 1,000.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't understand the betting.
Those odds.
Neither do I.
You got.
I don't even bet. I don't even gamble.
I'm tempted to bet Nakatani.
Ever since David Hayes' candy ass lost to Tony Bellew, never doing a bet again. He had the nerve to lose twice. 2 times. Not once, twice.
What's the most money I lost on the boxing bet? Or not? Not what's the most money. What fight I'm at?
You know what fight I won $500 on?
What's that?
Holyfield versus Tyson.
No, I didn't. I was too young to bet that fight.
That was the biggest. That was my biggest payday, and I lost $100. And recently, I lost $100 on Lopez Loma.
I lost money on that fight too.
Oh, you know what money I lost fight? The Marquez Pacquiao fight. I lost like $300 on.
Hey, look in the comments. Y'all see Box Boy Troy?
Yeah.
Hey.
He about to win gold in the Olympics, 165.
I think I'm following him.
Salute.
I follow everyone you tell me to follow.
So yeah.
I don't follow nobody I don't know.
Hey, he about to be in a he
No,
about to
if
be in the
Sibbie says
Olympics.
if Sibbie says they're worth following, I follow them.
He about to
No,
be
I
in the
mean,
just watch.
I wish him the best. Definitely do that.
Sure, the
Definitely
Hitman
wish
says
him
this:
the
you
best.
go out to the Olympics and you do what it is you do best, and that is layeth the smacketh down on all their Olympic goof candy asses.
Hey, Hitman, you gotta change. Hitman, you gotta change your image, man. The Rock on here, he said leave this shit alone.
Nope, the Rock's gonna appreciate it one day. Trust me. We're both Tauruses. We're both Tauruses. He's gonna appreciate it.
Yeah, break it down, Jimmy. Loma Nakatani. What you think?
I think Loma. You remember watching Luke Campbell fight and
Yeah,
Loma
that's
dealing
the
with
same.
the height
That's the
difference.
same comparison I made too.
And I think I see it playing a lot like that. I see an 8-4 type fight. Lomachenko decision. Maybe a late knockout because Lomachenko's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. You know, he looked a lot more relaxed in the lead up because he don't have someone talking shit to him. You know, so you saw them at the stare down where
Yeah, I did.
he pulled the Japanese dude down to his height. He's joking around. He's doing what he normally does. I think he's a lot more comfortable going in. It's really not really a lot of pressure. I think he's gonna go in and just beat the shit out of this guy. I don't know if he knocks him out because his power is not. It's more cumulative power and like punishment than like actual one
But
punch.
Nakatani
No,
take a lot of punches too.
no, I know. That's why I'm saying that I think it's an 8-4 type fight.
He take a lot of punches.
I don't know if that is that close.
8-4? No, I mean 8-4, 9-3, something like that.
Yeah, I'd say 9-3 at best. I think how Nakatani looked in the early rounds against Barrios.
Nakatani's orthodox. Fights orthodox stance. He's not a southpaw.
Nah, he's not.
Yeah, then yeah, 9-3 sounds right because he's gonna set up those angles he loves setting up, and he's just gonna. I think he's gonna start off real quick this time too, because I feel like he's just gonna throw. I think he's gonna throw more because he can't afford to start late again. He can't afford to do that again with anyone ever again.
That's what I was about to say. Because I think that last fight was like, you just weathered the storm.
Yeah, Lomachenko, I think he expected Teofimo Lopez to gas out because that's how it looked like they were fighting. Because when Lomachenko came on strong and he was landing shots.
I'm talking about Nakatani last fight. I'm talking about Nakatani last fight. He weathered the storm because he was hurt in the first couple.
He was wobbling.
Yeah, he was wobbling the first couple rounds.
Yo, but you have to look at the odds for that fight, though. I'm telling you, the odds are so wide. It's crazy, like disrespectfully wide. So I feel like maybe the bookies know something that we don't know.
What you think, Hitman?
Let the Hitman drink the people's juice.
What are you drinking, man?
Minute Maid. Minute Maid fruit punch. Hitman says this. Now, although Lomachenko is a heavy favorite in this fight, and I agree with what Jimmy said about how this could be Campo Lomachenko Part 2, but when you brought that up, Hitman can only think of one thing. Nakatani is at least 60 times more durable than Campo. He's at least 80 times more gritty than Campo, and he definitely punches a lot harder than Campo. So the Hitman says this. He's going to go with the crazy prediction, Nakatani TKO 11.
Ooh.
Whoa.
After being dominated for the whole fight, Nakatani TKO 11.
Really believe that?
Yep.
How much do you believe that?
I know where you're going with this, Jimmy.
No, I can't.
Hey, Jimmy.
Won't bet money.
Hey, Jimmy.
I'll do an Avi bet with you.
Hey,
Jimmy.
You'll do an Avi bet?
I'll do an Avi bet.
What's the
Hey, Jimmy.
That Lomachenko doesn't get knocked out.
Hey, Jimmy. Listen,
Yo,
right?
what's up?
He believed that as much as he believed wrestling is real.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Let me ask you something, Briz.
Go ahead.
You ever watch a movie?
Yeah.
You ever watch a TV show?
What kind of question is that?
We in the same boat. We watch movies, wrestling ain't real.
But we don't mimic movies. We don't walk around saying, I'll be back.
I know a couple people who do.
Yo, stop playing.
I know a couple people who do.
So with that being said, you don't really think that Nakatani going to TKO Loma?
Listen, the way I see, all right, you know, I'm gonna get out of character for a second because that shit is tiring sometimes. The way I see it,
It is.
yeah, it.
The fuck? I don't know if he
You
meant to
just
do
trying to
that.
drop that.
He threw his phone.
Oh yeah, he just sent a request. He ain't
All
meant to
right,
do that.
I don't even know what the fuck just happened. That was fucking weird. But the way I see it is that ever since Jimmy brought up those odds, something crazy has to happen. Something crazy has to happen. Those odds are fucking wide.
But
So let me
Hitman,
ask you this.
I don't think that this is the fight. I don't think this is the fight that, because you gotta look. If Lobo get knocked out, he's done.
Mm-hmm.
After coming off a Telefimo Lopez loss and then get knocked out on his comeback fight, he's done. So I don't.
Exactly.
Even if he loses, period. Fuck
Yeah,
getting knocked out. If he loses,
he's
period,
done. So I really don't think that Nakatani is the fighter that can end Lomo's career.
Yo,
Damn, Briz, you need to fix your Wi-Fi.
You need to, if you don't got Wi-Fi, man, you need to get a new cell phone carrier.
That's definitely you.
You know, I switched to T-Mobile again. They bought out my other contract and everything.
Well, listen to this. I got T-Mobile.
I had Verizon.
I'm trying to listen to what you're saying.
And I got two phones.
Hold on.
I got two phones, one for the plug.
I'm running off of data.
I got you.
You talking about that Android? I hate when people say that. I hate when people say I go to. Hey, listen. I hate when people always say you got an Android. That's the dumbest shit I hear.
But who cares?
Yeah,
like I have an iPhone, but like I used to have an Android, but I used to break the battery port all the time because you remember how the battery port, like you could only put it in one way, and like there was space. I'm very rough with things, so I used to break the battery port all the time, so I got tired of it.
I'd hate to see your old gaming controllers.
The crazy thing about it, Android, what people don't know is Android is only software.
You could do more with an Android if you like apps and shit a lot. That's the only thing I miss about the.
And like Android is only software. Because everybody uses Google, and Google is another name for Android. So I don't pay them no mind because everybody surfs the web with Google.
Hey, Briz.
So I have an Apple laptop and I use Google Chrome on it. So
something you said that I was you said if Loma loses this, he's done. I don't know because you ever seen how Loma fans are? You know what they're gonna say. I mean, I like Loma, but his diehard fans.
Big Loma fan.
No, he's too small for 135.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
diehard.
too small for 135. But I've been saying that.
No, but what I'm saying is, I'm talking about. I'm talking about they can't say nothing if he gets stopped in the 11th, like Hitman said.
That's what they're gonna say. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying that's what they're gonna say.
I've said that forever, that he's too small for 135 and he's dumb, especially after he couldn't get the rematch with Teofimo Lopez, not to go down to 130.
I think that's what he's shooting for.
He could make a lot of noise at 130.
He could have fought Oscar Valdez at 130.
And he would have won.
Easily.
Whip that candy ass.
Easily. All right, so I've been waiting for this. Best fight of the damn night Saturday. Lubin Rosario. Who gets to go first? Briz, you go first.
Damn.
I'm not really banana, right? After that Charlo body shot fake loss, I don't really got no I don't really got no I don't really care to watch this fight because that Charlo fight, man, that body shot, man, wasn't enough to make him react the way he acted.
Oh, trust me.
Oh, you think he threw the fight?
I mean, I think that he knew he was going to get knocked out later on because that walk people down style. He did that against J-Rock because J-Rock can't punch. And then they tried to use that same strategy going into the Charlo fight, which Charlo got some power. So he didn't have a plan. He didn't have a plan B because when he got dropped in the second round, he came back.
First round.
I forgot he did get dropped twice in that fight.
You know who else?
Yeah, he got
out, right?
Huh?
Gallimore.
Yeah, I remember that.
So both of them fought Gallimore, right? Lubin fought him and Rosario fought him, but he knocked out Rosario. Lubin got the unanimous decision on him. So that's the only opponent. And I think
what I'm saying is
they both got knocked out by Charlo.
Yeah, but what I'm saying when he fought Jamel Charlo, he don't have a plan B. He's still young.
He's a fight anyway, but that's
hey Jimmy, he asked me, he ain't asked you yet. Wait your turn, Jim.
I'm agreeing with you.
All right, agree is solid. But listen, that's my whole take on it. Well, I don't think Rosario he don't impress me. So the J-Rock fight was okay, but I wasn't impressed. I don't like him.
So I'm assuming you got Lubin with you saying that.
Yeah.
How you think he wins?
I just think he styles on him. I think he 12-round unanimous decision. I don't think he do nothing impressive. Boring fight.
Hitman, what you think?
Yo, Briz and my dad will get along. My dad can't stand Lubin. My dad says, ain't nobody with the last name Lubin ever gonna be a world champion.
And his first name should be his last name. His first name is the last name. His name should be Lubin Erickson.
That do make more sense though.
All right, this is the way I see it, right? Let me take these fucking glasses off. Shit, damn. This fight, like I said the other day, this fight goes either one or two ways. Number one, Lubin can't take Rosario's power and ends up getting knocked the fuck out around like 5th, 6th round. Or two, Lubin just styles on him and either stops him late or gets a decision.
Okay.
It's like these two, but the thing about Lubin is, one thing I noticed about him, Lubin really only fights one way.
He does. He
really fights that same way the whole fight. It's just.
Well, so do Rosario. That's what I said. So do Rosario.
Exactly. But here's the thing, though. Rosario, you would expect that from Rosario. He's really just a come forward type of guy.
Right.
Lubin, you would expect to see him be able to, box off the back foot, turn his opponent, be able to walk you down, do this and that. Lubin doesn't really showcase. I mean, maybe he has some skills. I don't know, but he doesn't really showcase a whole lot that makes me just be able to easily say Lubin beats everybody at 54. You know what I mean? Lubin's that whole 54 division, other than Charlo, everything's 50-50 with them guys.
Yeah, I agree.
So a fight like this, hey, you really can't be wrong with it. You can say Lubin will knock him out. You can say Rosario will knock him out. Either way, it's gonna happen. One of them's probably going to sleep, or it's gonna be a decision. I don't see Rosario winning a decision unless he just can pressure Lubin and just make him uncomfortable the whole fight. But Rosario, he don't fight. Has he ever thrown a jab? You ever seen Rosario throw a jab?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I can't see Rosario being able to jab his way to making Lubin uncomfortable, setting him up spots. I can only see Rosario doing what he usually does, the high guard, throwing ripping shots, trying to get to Lubin. Now Lubin, one thing I think he needs to do is he can't get too excited, because you notice he'll get real excited at times. And he can leave himself open.
Cocky.
Yep, exactly.
Yes.
But the thing with Rosario is Rosario hits fucking hard. Rosario hits hard. You could hear, I know it's an empty arena, but you could hear the thud in his shots against Charlo.
I was gonna say,
how hard he hit against J-Rock.
He was fighting Charlo.
You gotta be standing right there in order for him to get that shot off.
Exactly. But I don't know if Lubin is the type of guy to really get in and out. He seems like he'll bang with him. That's what I'm worried about. I think he might try to bang with him. And I think Rosario might be able to catch him quicker on the inside because, you know, Rosario, he's awkward. And Lubin kind of throws looping wide shots, too.
Especially that hook to that left hook. No, he's a southpaw, so when he throws that hook, it is.
That's probably the best I've ever broken down a fight on this show.
He throws it far range from the outside and loops it.
Yeah.
What you
Lubin,
think, Jim?
he doesn't exactly keep his hands up, too, when he's throwing.
I'm kind of in the same group as both of these guys. I think both fighters are pretty basic. They don't really adapt. They don't really change their style as the fight goes on. They fight the same way. I agree more with Briz, but I could see if Lubin gets caught early, that it could be a quick night for him. But I expect Lubin to outbox Rosario, and if he could hurt Rosario early, he might be able to knock him out in the 8th, 9th round. But I see it just coasting to a decision.
Hey,
I don't see it being it's the only reason why we're talking about this fight is because all the other fights seem one-sided this weekend. If this was on any other card, we wouldn't be talking about it. So
who's the bigger fighter? Who's the bigger
Rosario.
Rosario.
Lubin's pretty small when you think about it. Lubin really
Are
should
you
be
talking bigger in size or bigger name?
No, bigger in size.
Okay, yeah.
I think Rosario's both because Rosario just lost to Charlo and he beat J-Rock, who was the champion at the time. So he has a more recent, better resume. So
no. I mean bigger in size because
I'm talking about overall boxing fans. I'm not talking about us hardcores. I'm talking about overall.
I don't know. They might be equal in that.
To be honest,
I'm saying that Rosario has fought the better competition recently.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked who's the bigger fighter is because if Rosario was the bigger fighter, you already know that you're going to get his walk down style. Now, if Lubin is a smaller fighter, then he's going to have to be elusive and he's going to have to pick his shots. And Rosario is right there for him to do that. Now we got to determine if Lubin can hurt Rosario.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I think Lubin's best punch would be in this fight? When they're on the inside, if he could slip out a little bit and throw an inside uppercut. I think that'll be his. I think if Lubin throws shots like that, he'll be able to really hurt Rosario. Like when they get on the inside, Rosario tries to lock him up, Rosario tries to rough him up. If Lubin can, kind of slide out a little bit, get them inside uppercuts.
I think this is I think it took me a minute to pick this too. I'm still not 100%, but I think it's going to be a not impressive win by Lubin. I think it's going to start out a slow pace, which is going to favor Lubin. Then I think after a while, Rosario's going to bring the fight to him. I do think Lubin would definitely get wobbled in the fight. I'm trying to debate if I think he'll get knocked down. I think I think both fighters will get wobbled at some point. I think it'll be a knockdown. I don't know who I think will get it. But I think Rosario will bring the fight to him, but a come forward fighter is easier to figure out than a slick fighter with one style. So I think I give Lubin the edge, but I'm not so confident when saying that.
Yeah.
I think if Lubin stick to his basics, stick to the fundamentals, when Rosario brings the fight to him, I think he'll edge it. But his chin just worries me. That's the biggest problem with him. That's my biggest problem with him. Because if you look at his styles, I would gladly pick his style over Rosario. It's just he got hurt by what's his name? I keep forgetting, from Ohio.
Boucher.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Boucher's not a big puncher at all.
At all.
At all. But quick question for you guys: what does the winner and what does the loser do?
154. So
the loser just fades.
I think the loser should try to get a fight with Hurd.
For what?
Nah, I think he said the loser, so that makes sense.
No, I'm saying for what though?
What? Hey, Hurd's still a big name. You take Hurd out.
Nah, Hurd looks huge at 160. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Hurd's definitely not going to keep fighting at 160. I doubt he'll.
Look how big he was, though.
I think.
How was it getting 154?
This is what I say. I think if Rosario loses, he should fight Hurd. I think if Lubin loses, he should fight J-Rock or Tony.
Yeah, Tony. Tony
I think
Harrison.
I said it before. I think if whoever wins out of the Charlo Castano, whoever if they stay at 54, I think the winner of this might be the front runner of the next opponent for the undisputed champion.
Well, why don't they just have a tournament?
They should. They should.
I feel like there should be a Super 6 tournament, like every there should be at least one or two a year for each division.
But
no, not every division in the same year. I'm talking about like you take two divisions a year and you have it.
That would be
like
unfair.
Every 4 years.
That would be unfair to Jamel Charlo, though.
I was gonna say I think 150 for tournament at 154 would be great because like Hitman said, other than Charlo, I think everybody else at 54 is if there's no fight at 54 where I'm confident someone will completely win over the other.
Right.
What about that Aussie guy coming up? Sue?
Oh,
say that again.
What about that Aussie guy coming up?
Yeah, he could be in the tournament too.
Huh? No, I know.
Tim Tszyu should fight the winner of this fight.
You know?
Yeah, that would be good.
That would be good. Tim Tszyu fight the winner of this fight, or maybe he could fight Tony, fight J-Rock.
I think he knocks out J-Rock.
Yeah, they were just talking about on Twitter today too. Him versus J-Rock.
Were they?
No, it's not rumored. It was just someone asked who would win.
I think he knocks out J-Rock.
That's what everybody was saying.
Who that?
That was
that's Costa Tszyu's son.
Yeah, Kai.
Oh yeah. Well, he calling out everybody.
Well, I mean, he's knocking everyone out. So
Yeah, he calling out everybody. I think that he'll knock.
He's number one in the WBO.
I think he'll knock J-Rock out too.
Matter of fact, actually, it wouldn't surprise me if the winner of Charlo Castano, whoever wins that, I won't be surprised if they fight him either.
That's big money from Australia too.
Not yet.
It's better to get him out the way now. Don't let him get better.
Well, that's what they're gonna do.
I mean, Charlo doesn't care if he gets better or not. I think he'll take the fight.
Charlo.
But
that's why I like Jamel. He just want to fight everybody.
You make him mad, he'll fight you.
Bro, you look at him wrong.
Hey, yo.
He's ready to fight you.
Exactly.
Hey, yo, who posted that? That was you, Jimmy, that posted with Jamal Charlo was talking about Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that.
Oh, when Jamel said
That shit was funny.
Yeah, he come out. That it's funny. You know why I don't respect when he said that.
Hey, you know something funny? I ain't gonna lie. Jamel Charlo always angry, always ready to fight. He changed his energy up a bit with Wilder. I mean, I don't take too much of him. It's just an interview, so maybe I'm looking too much into it, which I usually don't. But he didn't have that same Charlo attitude talking about.
You want to know why I think that is?
Why is that?
Because if Jamel gets into a street fight with a dude like Jacobs,
yeah,
you could probably pick Jamel in that.
Yeah,
I would not pick Look, if Jamel had Jamal with him, I still don't know if I picked him against Wilder in a street fight.
Yeah, I don't think
see, that's not the part I'm talking about. The part I'm talking about is you didn't have that same smoke when you was talking about. Listen, when you was talking about I hang around killers, dude. He said dudes that do life in jail for me. You didn't have that same smoke when y'all was arguing with Broner and Gervonta Davis because they really around killers.
No, he did. It was Jamal that did.
No, but I'm saying it don't matter. If you talking to my brother, you talking to me. Especially if you inviting the other dudes, especially if you inviting the other dudes to the table. Gervonta said, if you put your hands on me, you would never box again. If you say that to my brother, you're talking to me too.
Jamel Charlo was the one calling he was the one calling Broner a pussy at the weigh-ins, and Jamal because Jamal was the one fighting. So Jamal was like, calm that shit down. He did, but he was the one calling him a pussy, and then Broner was like, you ain't know what I'm on. I still remember that. I remember the whole back and forth on Twitter.
Bro, that shit was funny.
It was just random. I'm like,
I don't put too much into all that shit.
I'm like,
nah, but you know what I noticed?
Pro boxer making millions. Why would you throw it away? Why would you fight for free?
But yo, you know what I noticed?
What's that?
if you go back a year prior to that situation when Jamal fought on the Broner and Mikey Garcia card,
That's what
if
started.
you
Yeah.
if you look at the press conference, Jamal was eyeballing Broner back then too.
I remember.
Jamal was eyeballing the shit out of him.
If you remember, it all started when Jamal Charlo was on the undercard of Broner versus Jesse Vargas, and he was bitching about it.
Yeah, he was mad about it.
I'm not gonna say he was bitching about it because he was right. He basically was like, how am I on the undercard? Broner getting draws, losing. I'm the one getting wins and shit. But I don't think he understood Broner was just a bigger name.
But Broner's still a bigger name.
Yeah, I agree.
Broner don't fight. See, the one thing that people got to understand about boxing,
Mikey Garcia is overrated.
we don't even care. One thing about boxing fans, real boxing fans, like Jimmy said, real boxing fans, we don't care about belts. We know that belts is obsolete for real. We could care less. The bigger names is going to draw. You can put Broner in the ring with anybody. People want to watch because they want to see Broner lose. So what Broner does, he comes in a fight and fight just enough so he won't look bad when he loses, so he can get another one. He don't care. If Broner was a fight right now, everybody's going to tune in.
You said if Broner what was the last part?
If Broner was a fight today, everybody's going to tune in because they want to see him lose.
Yeah, for free. Well, I will. I don't know about you.
And you paid for Pacquiao, Broner.
What? No, I haven't paid for a fight since special.
Well, that's you because you're illegal.
Yeah. That's what I went to the movie theater. I watched it on the big screen.
Yeah, but truth be told, you paid for it. Then I don't care. You paid $20. You paid for it.
Hey, look, I don't give a
Hey,
shit.
Jimmy,
I'll pay for every pay-per-view fight.
Jimmy, let me tell you something, Jimmy, real quick, right?
There's not many fights I'll pay for.
Jimmy, let me tell you something, right? When you pay for, when you go to, say like when you, I don't know if you know this, right? When you pay for a pay-per-view, right? Depending on where you at, the pay-per-view is not the same price. So, say for instance, you go into a bar, right? And the fight costs $50. If the bar can only hold the captivity of 70 people,
they have to pay that time.
That pay-per-view has become $3,500.
Yeah, no, I know.
So if you win it,
capacity of the bar, that's why a lot of bars don't show it.
Exactly. So if you go inside of the movie theater, it's the same thing. You're helping paying for that fight. So don't say you ain't paid for a fight.
No, I'm saying that's the last time I paid for it.
Oh, all right. You paid.
I paid $20.
That's good. You paid for it.
Hey, you know we gotta talk about this. I don't know how to pronounce his first name or last name, so I'm gonna say his nickname.
About the Kazakh guy that's fighting Robert Brandt?
Nope, I was gonna say Virgil Ortiz versus Mean Machine.
Oh, Mean Machine, yeah.
That's gonna be a good fight.
I think we're gonna see what Virgil Ortiz's chin looks like, and we already know he's a gritty fighter, so we're gonna see if his chin holds up because he gets hit a lot. So,
my boy Michael watching. Y'all want me to break that down real quick?
Hell yeah.
All right, I'm gonna tell you like this, just like Jimmy said, but I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I think Virgil's gonna get either really hurt or he's gonna get dropped in this fight.
But do he win or lose?
He's gonna win.
All right.
He's gonna have to really show how good he really is in this fight. Cause the Mighty Mouse was hurting him. Well, I wouldn't say hurting him, but Mighty Mouse was tagging him. I think he might have buzzed him a little bit. But Mighty Mouse was tagging him. And this Mean Machine,
bruises on his face after that fight.
This Mean Machine isn't the best boxer, but this dude got some power. He's strong. So
he knocked down Crawford.
Yep, he knocked down Boogeyman Bud.
That wasn't no fucking slip, right?
No, he cracked him.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Virgil went too. I don't think he'll take as many risks as he did with Hooker, because I don't think he respected Hooker's power. With Hooker, that was his second fight at 47. So I don't think he'll fight exactly how he did versus Hooker, but I think he'll have, if anything, a Haney moment. I can see him getting wobbled at the end of a round, but he should win it. But like y'all said, this will be the fight that shows how tough he is, how much dog he got.
Yeah, it'll show if he elite one, if he really ready for the 147s. It's definitely show him.
the Hooker fight was a display of where his skills is at, because Hooker is more skills than dog out with you. I think this fight, it's gonna show where his chin is at, where his heart is at. If he gets hurt, it's gonna show a lot. Y'all see how
My boy said, y'all seen how salty
He's
Bo
childish.
Mac was in the interview with Fight Hype?
He's childish.
Yo,
Yo.
Yeah. You ate all the bread.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I wanted to talk about today? Did you see that Leonard thing where he was talking about how Josh Taylor isn't a big fight for Gervonta Davis?
Yeah, let's not even talk about that, because let's not talk about that.
He contradicted himself so much in that. He gonna say, so he basically was
Barrios
saying
is a big fight, but Josh Taylor ain't. Josh Taylor brings the entire UK with him.
not even that. Well, that too, yeah. But
He brings all the belts.
he gonna go on to say, Tank gonna sell out versus whoever. So that takes away from your whole argument.
Yeah, and it's undisputed. Like, what the fuck? That's going to make the fight even bigger. It's an undisputed fight.
He was better off giving the typical answer before the fight.
I never tag Ellaby because, like, he'll go back and forth with you. But I had to tag him in Twitter. I was like, you don't really believe that, do you?
Yo, I got a quick question for you guys.
What's up?
I respect him as like a businessman in boxing. He's a good businessman, but there's no way he said that like with a straight face, because he started stuttering when they started talking about Taylor. He did not want to talk about it.
So Jimmy, I want to get your thoughts on this too. We were just talking about Virgil versus Mighty Mouse, right? Or Mighty Mo. I don't know why I'm
talking about. Are we talking about the guy he fought prior to this fight?
No, we're talking about Virgil Ortiz
about
Maurice Hooker.
Are you his name? The guy he's fighting is Mean Machine.
No. We were just talking about.
You're talking about the past fight.
Yeah.
Oh, he got hit too much in that fight.
No, but I wasn't gonna bring that up.
So
I was gonna ask you guys this. You remember when Maurice Hooker was supposed to fight?
Say that again.
You remember when Regis and Maurice Hooker was supposed to fight?
Oh yeah, I was supposed to go to that fight, but then
so what if, right? What if instead of Hooker fighting Virgil, that was Prograis fighting Virgil that night?
Oh shit!
What do you think? What do you guys think would have happened?
I rate Prograis pretty highly, so Prograis.
I think Prograis would have. I think Prograis might have whipped his ass had he got that call instead.
I think, first of all, I think that's a fight. Like just like that fight would just like the 12 rounds. And I mean that for whoever won, it wouldn't go 12 rounds.
Who do you think would have won?
Virgil. See, the thing is, if Virgil fought exactly like he did against Hooker, I think he possibly got stopped versus Prograis. But I just don't think he showed no respect to Hooker too at the same time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think Prograis would have won. I'm just say that.
Me too. I don't. It's not
that a little monkey wrench in there. You didn't expect that.
You did.
I rate Virgil Ortiz highly, but I just don't think he's ready for that kind of fight. You know, like Prograis is everything and the kitchen sink, and he could box. Like honestly, that Josh Taylor fight was very close. I did score for Taylor, but I thought that Prograis would knock him out. But then Taylor proved to me that his chin was top notch in that fight, because he was eating everything that Prograis threw at him.
No, Prograis, one thing I like about him, when he comes out to fuck you up.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I don't know. Virgil Ortiz gets hit too much. I think that Prograis might knock him out. Or he's gonna hurt him really bad.
I want to see Prograis fight that Subriel Matias. I really want to see that fight.
I still want to see Prograis or Ramirez.
I think Prograis will dog walk Ramirez.
I do too, but I still want to see it because that was a fight that was supposed to happen for a while.
Matter of fact, this dude Dripper brought this fight up earlier. I never got to comment on it, but I actually thought this was interesting. Prograis versus Thurman.
I seen that.
I think Prograis needs something else before he goes. Because Prograis is not really that big.
Yeah, I think I say this all the time. Even when they mention the top names at 145 and Bud, it's so much of a big. I think I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but for anybody moving up in weight class, the biggest gap from 140 to 147 is the hardest one to jump up a weight class because the gap is so different.
You also got a lot of big 147ers there. You know, like Thurman's not a small guy. You know.
Like to go,
Yeah, and I was talking about this. I think it was earlier today. Thurman, Porter, and Spence all started out. Porter started out at super middleweight, actually. Thurman
Yeah.
started out at 54, and Spence, his first fight was like what? He was like 152. His first fight.
so yeah, so what I was saying, I think like if someone was going up to 154 to 60 or 60 to 68, 68 to 75, I don't think any of those going up is as hard as 140 to 147, only because not as far as the weight, just as far as the talent. The talent
Yeah.
40 going to the talent in 147, I think that's the biggest gap.
Yeah, because I feel like 147 is like so top and bottom heavy. Like you look at their top 10, 147 might have one of the best top 10s in boxing.
Yeah.
It's just
exactly.
like you got Spence, Crawford, Pacquiao, Boots, Virgil, Keith, Sean, Danny on a good night. You got Ugas. You got all these dudes at 47. 40, you really got who? Prograis, Taylor, Ramirez.
The top name at 140 right now, which is Taylor, I don't even know if I will pick him. Not saying I would or wouldn't. I don't even know if I will pick him against the third, fourth, and fifth. Thurman, Porter,
Exactly.
and
I would pick Taylor against Mikey Garcia.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but Mikey ain't no real 147 pounder.
Yeah, I know, but he's a real 140er, and that's what Taylor is.
let me ask you this: if Mike was at 140, who would win? How much y'all selling?
Taylor.
Taylor.
I think he brings more to the table. I think he's more full complete because Josh Taylor has like some sneaky boxing too. Not just like a banger, you know. Like Mikey Garcia, like he could box, but I feel like the ring rust would show. But let's say prime for prime, they both like hot or whatever. I think it would be a good fight, but I think it would play out a lot like Prograis played out.
That was that's what I meant. I don't mean Mikey. I meant Mikey. What
prime 140 Mikey when he beat like Lipinets.
That's stuff I was about to say. When he beat Lipinets versus Taylor now.
I think it would play out like Taylor Prograis.
Yeah.
And then it could be a toss up.
For a minute. I'm gonna call.
I don't know exactly what he said. Oh, for a minute.
Nah, shit. Mikey and Taylor. I'll go with Taylor because I feel like Taylor would actually really use his height and reach too. I mean, I think Mikey could probably get inside, but I don't know. I feel like Taylor's a little bit more sharper, a little bit more savvy. It's a good fight. It's a good fight.
I think it's a split decision, whatever way it goes.
Yeah.
You know that? So Virgil Ortiz is #1 in the WBO. So
I remember hearing that.
I guess what's he gonna do? He's gonna fight Mean Machine, see how he does, and then maybe fight Crawford. You know.
This is all assuming Crawford stays with Bob too.
Oh yeah, I know, because then you got to assume that Spence is gonna, assuming he beats Pacquiao, you assume he's really gonna push for that Crawford fight.
That's why I
But
tell every
Pacquiao.
that's why I tell every boxing fan or hardcore casual, whatever. I don't care if you hate Spence, how much you hate him. If you truly want to see Spence versus Crawford, you have to root for Spence in this Pacquiao fight because after this fight, then there's no more excuses for either side.
Nothing else at 147 for him.
There's not after this fight, if it doesn't happen after this fight, then they might as well move up. Spence said he'll do that.
Virgil's not ready for Bud. The guy in the comments, ride the wave. Like Virgil's not ready for that kind of step up. That's too much of a gap.
Yeah,
he needs to step up fighter 2 before he goes to the top level. He's still a prospect, in my opinion.
I say this, right?
Like he's on the cusp of being a contender. He's not up there yet. He needs more experience before he fights a Bud and Errol Spence, someone like that. You know, I wouldn't even put him in this. I wouldn't favor him at all.
I got a good question for y'all. I think I should wait till after Virgil fights Mean Machine, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Virgil Ortiz versus Danny Garcia.
Virgil Ortiz
beats the shit out of him, actually.
Really?
Well, I still say that Danny was a much better 140er. that
If
he is
Danny
at
fights him like
147.
Hooker did, then it's
And he also, we've seen it in all the fights. He doesn't make adjustments, and I don't know. I mean, we'll see what
Danny way too much to
Virgil
counter.
Ortiz's chin looks like after this fight.
Danny fights the same every single fight. Every single fight he fights the same.
He relies on waiting too much for a mistake.
He relies on that cannon. Beats the shit out of him.
Hold on. Time out. Yo, what you think of the fights this weekend?
All right, bro. Hey man, don't jump me for this, bro. All right, look.
Oh, we're gonna beat the shit out of you.
Go ahead.
Man. All right. So I got Tank by stoppage in 10, bro.
Okay.
And I got Loma by unanimous decision going all 12 versus Nakatani.
Okay. What about Lubin and Rosario?
Man, I don't know, man.
See?
See, I don't know.
We're all torn on it too.
See, if it's the Rosario that beat J-Rock, bro, I got him. But if he don't show up, bro, it's over.
Nah, but Yogi, tell me not though. That fight is a genuine like 50-50 fight. Like it goes either way.
That's 50-50.
That's the only reason we talked about it.